Welcome to Write with Love. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, best-selling author, speaker, and creative entrepreneur. Each week, I chat to passionate and inspiring authors about their journey in creative writing. Some are traditionally published, some do it themselves. Everyone's journey is different, and everyone has something interesting to say. We all love love and love what we do. Today's show is brought to you by our amazing fans and supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support the show and get some awesome bonus episodes, go to patreon.com/Sarah Williams Author to learn more. Now here's today's show. G'day, I'm Sarah Williams. Thanks for joining me for episode 30 of Write with Love. I'm excited that my first print copy of The Sky Over Brigadier Station has finally arrived and looks great. You can order the paperbacks of all my books through Amazon, Book Depository, Booktopia, and other online book retailers, or you can contact me via Facebook or my website, and I'll arrange to send you an autographed copy. It's been school holidays this week, and we have been busy riding our new horse and exploring the Sunshine Coast. The highlight of this week was we went to Australia Zoo and got to see all three of the Irwin family present the croc feeding show, which was great. I do love crocodiles, and stay tuned. I'm sure at some point I will write them into a book. Thanks to my newest Patreon supporter, Joanne Danon. Joanne and I chatted on episode 13 and had lots of laughs. Joanne's a multi-published, award-winning Australian author who writes to give her readers the experience she loves to savour, which is indulging in a sigh-worthy happily ever after, being swept away from the everyday by diving into a delicious romance novel. She can be found on Facebook chatting about reading, writing, cooking, vintage-inspired dresses, and all things romantic. And if you head over to her website, which is www.joannedanon.com, you can get her novel, Bidding on Love, for free when you sign up to her newsletter. So thanks for that, Joanne. And if you're an author who would like a shout out, contact me or become a patron at www.patreon.com/Sarah Williams Author. Today I'm chatting to Aussie author and 2018 double Rita nominee, Amy Andrews. So this week we will find out if she wins at the Romance Writers of America conference in Denver. I hope you enjoy our chat as much as I did. And if you are going to RWA America conference, have a wonderful time and safe travels. I'm very jealous. Now here's the interview. Today I'm chatting to Amy Andrews. Thanks for joining me, Amy.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
So you have written over 70 books and sold over 2 million copies. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So tell us about your journey so far and how you got into writing.
Well, I was never one of those people that you meet, often meet in writing circles who knew from the second that they stapled paper together that they were going to be a writer. It never occurred to me to be a writer at all, really. I was very good at English. I loved creative writing, but it never occurred to me that people did that as an actual job, which is stupid because clearly there are books, so people must do it, but I don't know, it was not in my realm of things I could do. And then we'd moved to the UK after I first got married, and where I was temporarily unemployed for about 6 weeks. It was our first winter in the UK, and it was freezing cold. It didn't get below 1 week. It didn't get above zero, and there were frozen cobwebs in our house, and it was just really cold. And I thought, what can I do that involves me not getting off my electric blanket? And I thought, I'll write that book that's in my head. And that was an epiphany because I was like, I have a book in my head, and it was then that I kind of realized. And then I wrote longhand, a chapter a day for 10 days, 50,000 words, and it just flew out of me, just fell out of me, and I'd written a book, and that's when I kind of realised. Then you open that portal. When you do that, you kind of open almost like a portal, and I realised then that Actually, I had always had thoughts in my head. I just never really realised that's what they were. I just thought it was a bit of an act of imagination, and so it took me till I was 22 till I could really, like, you know, realise they weren't really people talking in my head. They were actually plots. So that was a relief in lots of ways. And I paid some, just back in the days before we had PC, everybody had a computer in the house. So I had to pay somebody to type it up with. It cost me £100 and my scribbled notes, and sent it off to, in the UK, so I sent it to Harlequin, and 9 months later, got a rejection. And so, and that was, this, I always tell people, that was my moment when I knew I wanted to become a writer, because I thought, all right, well, I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to show you that I can write a book that you will publish if it kills me. So I always say that rejection made me bloody minded. And so I kind of went on from there. When we got back to Australia, I thought to myself, well, clearly I'm not as good as I thought I was. Clearly I'm not going to, like, have millions of dollar advance and get a free, a movie deal straight off the bat. So, okay, what can I do? I've got to learn. So I looked around to whoever could help me. So I rang the Queensland Writer Centre. I asked if there was a romance writing group anywhere in Brisbane. I found Brisrom. From there I found RWA. I went to conferences and workshops, and I bought how-to books. And I just always say I feel like I served an apprenticeship. I just spent years learning the craft and writing and getting rejected. And so it took me 12 years before they finally got the call from London to say that they were accepting my first book, although that was really only my third full novel in that time, because I was working as a nurse and I had babies, and it was, it wasn't very productive in that 12 years. I really wish I had been more productive, because maybe I might have been picked up earlier. Well, you never know. Maybe that's just the way that was just the way my journey was.
That's it.
I do get a bit cranky thinking I should have been a bit more focused in those 12 years. So in 2004 I got the phone call, and my first book was published in 2005.
Wow. So yeah, we're not talking decades or anything. You've done 60 books in like 12 years.
70 books.
70 books, sorry.
Please don't take those 10 books away from me.
Need every single one.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's really impressive. So, yeah, you really must have just worked your socks off for the last few years.
Yeah, I've been putting out between, I suppose I've averaged about 4 to 6 books a year, but there have been some years, like a couple of years ago, I had 11 books out in 1 year. Although that was not quite the way it was meant to work out. I just had books that were carried over from the previous year that weren't supposed to. But yes, I did have a crazy year a few years back. But I am prolific, not as prolific as some, but and now I've retired from nursing a few years ago now, and I write full time, and it's my job.
Oh, wow. So what kind of word count are we talking about here?
Well, today, not that many. I try when I'm writing, when working on a book, I try to do 2,000 to 3,000. I'd like to do 2,000 words a day, but usually I'm running behind on schedule, so I have to get to 3,000 words a day. I went for a lot of years with much bigger word counts than that, like those 5,000 words a day was quite common for me, sometimes up to 8, but the very mere thought of writing those word counts now makes me want to vomit. If I have to write anything more than 3,000 words a day, it's daunting to even think about. So I don't know what happened there, but I mean, I can and do occasionally do 5 to 8K kind of days, but I'm like literally exhausted after them. I feel like I can't write for another week. So so I would say between 2,000 and 3,000 words when I'm writing on a book. Today I'm praying that I'm going to get to 2,000 by the end of the day. Fingers crossed.
A few more wines, you'll be right.
Yeah, sure. I always write drinking champagne. Not really. I never get anything really. I think you're supposed to write drunk, get it sober. Yeah. I like that one.
Yep, that's awesome. And then the books themselves, are we talking kind of 50,000 word books or even longer?
Yeah, most of my 70,000, I guess, have been category romance, so they've been between 50 to 60,000.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few single titles in there though, so I don't know how many, maybe maybe 10, so there's 80 to 100,000, and there's a couple of novellas in there as well, sort of 20, 30, 35,000 words, but mostly 50, 60,000. Yeah.
Brilliant. So when you were picked up by Harlequin or Mills and Boon, so what sort of a book was that to start with? I know you've got a background in nursing, so was that a medical book or?
It was. My first book that was picked up was a medical book. The first book I wrote wasn't a medical. That book that I wrote in 10 days was not a medical, although it did have a doctor as a hero. I have a medical background, so it's easier. But I hadn't planned on writing medicals. I didn't really even know the medical line existed until, in my apprenticeship, I was reading widely in the Harlequin lines, and I stumbled across it, and I read a few of the books, and I read a particular book that had some inaccurate medical information in it, and I thought, well, actually there was a scene where a doctor gave a bedpan to a patient, and I was like, well, okay, if only that were true. And so I thought, well, I could write, at least I can get my medical, content right. So that's what actually put me on the path of writing medicals. That's how I ended up, and then I switched, I changed to writing, medicals sort of from then on. So later on, I did write for the Harlequin Kiss line. For those 3 or 4 years that it was operational, and I love writing those books. It broke my heart when the line shut down, but I was lucky I actually had another line to that I could still write for as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So you've got lots of different genres that you do write for. You've got your medical, your small town, urban family, mystery, sexy, and sport.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
Everything. Yeah. The mystery one is I've only got one book that I sort of did in that subgenre. I've got 2 more coming out in that series, in the Limbo series, the Joy Valentine mysteries, and that was a weird book that came from nowhere. It had been in my head Joy had been in my head for a couple of years. She was this weird character that landed fully formed. Doesn't often happen that way. I just knew Joy straight away, but she was a ex-hillbilly punk rocker, cadaver makeup artist person, and who sees ghosts. And I was like, I don't know how to write that book. I can't write you. You need to go away because I'm busy writing the stuff I know how to write. But she just persisted and persisted and persisted, and after a couple of years, I just knew I had I'd finished my book, and I knew that she had to be written. So I wrote her, and it was, and I love her, and I love that book, and I love there's a new cover on it. They Escape recently recovered it. It's got the one with the goldfish bowl on the front, and I love that book. It just didn't sell very well, so people go buy it. It's really good. And there's going to be 2 more out as well. So, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, brilliant. So you've had your books translated into 12 languages as well. So as well as having manga?
Manga, yes.
Manga.
These are I've got a few just to show you my lovely, beautiful manga translations.
Gorgeous.
And they have these beautiful, gorgeous pictures. I think I'm upside down. Pictures in them that are they're the most prized translation as a Harlequin author that you get. And I didn't. Everybody else I knew practically in Harlequin had manga translations, and I didn't. And when I first got my first one, I almost peed my pants. I was so excited. And they're quite beautiful because their covers are really glossy. They're very beautiful. And, obviously I can't read Japanese at all. But when you know what the story is and you look through the pictures, there's actually, you go, oh, I know what that scene is. You can tell from the pictures what scenes they are. They seem to be a very accurate representation of what you wrote. So, yeah, lovely.
That's fantastic.
It's one of the more exciting things, and one of the reasons why people say, well, why do you write for Harlequin? And, when you could write, you go indie, and because they have such an amazingly huge, for lots of reasons, because I've always been a Harlequin reader, I love them.
Yeah.
But they have such a huge market share, and they have a massive translation market. And I got a Japanese translation.
Oh, wow.
the other day, and it's just, it's just such a thrill to know that all over the world people are reading, hopefully.
Yep.
And
They are definitely one of those really good ones. So, as well as Harlequin, so Mills and Boon, are you published with anyone else?
yes, I actually, I've had quite a few books published with Escape, Harlequin Escape in Australia, which is, the digital line for Harlequin in Australia, and that's Limbo was published through them. And I've had a couple of books out with Harlequin Mirror here in Australia, which are the big single title ones. And mostly now I write for Entangled Publishing, and they have I think I've done 12 books or something for them, and they've got the sports, the rugby, Sydney Smoke rugby series with them. And I also write for Tully Publishing, which is another independent digital publishing house out of the US.
Yeah, brilliant. So with your Tully ones, I've read Tully published books which have been really like cowboys and western. Is that what you're writing for them as well, or is it something different?
I've written a few things for them, and that's what I really love about writing for Tully, is that there's a lot of creative freedom. The first book I wrote for them was a collaboration with 3 other authors, and it was set in New York, a modern contemporary romance. It's all linked sisters? No, friends, all set in New York. I've written a series I was going to self-publish, but they said that they were interested, so I gave it to them, which is Small Town Australia.
Yeah.
They're not cowboys exactly, but sort of a family linked through a small town. And the one that's up for the Rita this year is also a Tully one, and it's a cowboy one. It's an Australian cowboy on the American bull riding circuit. So it is. So I've written, sort of a variety of things for them.
Yeah, excellent. So let's talk about the Rita nomination. Congratulations. And that's fantastic. Like you were saying, that it is an Australian character.
Won twice with 2 books in the same category. So Troy was one, and the Christmas Miracle, which was a Harlequin medical.
Brilliant. And is this the first time you've got a nomination for a Rita?
It is.
It is.
Well, I actually didn't enter last year because I thought, I've been doing this for 12 years, not getting anywhere. And, it costs money, and you have to, I didn't do it last year, but you usually have to send, mail over copies, so it ends up, it's expensive, and I thought, I'll do another year. So that ended up being quite fortuitous as it was. And then, because what happens with the reader is you get run by them to say, your book's finaled in the reader competition. And because I live in Australia, because we just moved house and I had a different phone number to the one that was on the form when I entered, I wasn't rung. I didn't even know that they were being announced overnight. I'd rather not know those things, because that way, it's better to be surprised and be sitting there by the phone thinking, is it going to ring? Is it going to ring? Is it going to ring? So I didn't even know, and so I went to bed, and I woke up at 7:30 to a text from Claire Connolly. It said, "Good morning, Rita Queen," and I reckon there's never been a romance author on the face of the planet that has done a sit-up faster than I did. When I got that message, I just bolted upright in bed and said to my husband, oh my god, I finally did the reader. And then I noticed that I had all these tweets and I ignored all of them because I knew I didn't get a phone call. So I went straight to my email. I knew I must have been emailed. And so I was desperately searching through my emails, and I found the email from Damon Swade, by the way, who you're going to be interviewing.
Excellent.
And it's when I found out that it wasn't 1 book, it was 2 books.
Wow. That's
Because
awesome.
she had said 2 books. I haven't even responded to her. I just flew straight to my email. And then I found out I had 2 books. So it was a very exciting day. I think I cried. I got nothing. I don't think I wrote for a week after that. I was too busy celebrating with everywhere.
That's it. It's just so exciting. Are you going over to Denver to be there?
Definitely going to Denver. It's so funny because last year I had planned on going to Denver because I'm writing some books set in Colorado. I'm writing a series for Entangled, for Macmillan in the US, set in Colorado. And I thought, well, that's good. I'll be able to go over, I'll be able to do some research. And then we sold a house, we moved, and we, and my husband we kind of like closed up his business, and I said to him, look, I won't go to Denver because money's going to be tight, so I just won't do it. Unless I finally the Rita, and then of course I'll have to go. Yeah. And we both had a laugh about that. And so then when I finally said to my, well, I'm going to the Rita now. So get on again, off again, on again. But I'm definitely going up my airfare, I booked the hotel, and I'm up against there's like 8 other authors in the in that category. Yeah. So and I've read all their books and they're all great. So whoever wins, good on them because they're awesome books. It's just going to be great to be there on the night and be part of that whole thing. Because I've been to reading ceremonies before, but I've never been, kind of one of the ones that have been up on the screen with their books. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, all the best for that one. I can't wait to hear. Fingers crossed. I hope they stream it or something.
They do stream it. You can look at it. You can watch it online. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So we'll all be...
all, Oscars, red carpets. Yeah, it's good.
That's so exciting. Wow. So what have you got that's coming out next that we should all be keeping our eyes peeled for?
I've got Rugby, book number 6, which is playing Dirty. It's coming out the second week in July. Probably should know the exact date, but I think so that's coming out, and then I've got a medical coming out in October. There's my book after that, and the 7th rugby book should be out. I think it's in October or November. I haven't read it yet. I need to do that. That's what I'm working on next. It should be out this year as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So there's always something coming out.
Usually 4 or 5 books a year, yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, again, congratulations on the Rita nomination. And so where can we find you online?
I'm all over social media. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and all those kind of things. Probably the best place to go is my website, amyandrews.com.au, and it's got all my social media links there. You can also, people can also click to join my newsletter, where they can, find out about things that are coming up and, all that kind of thing as well. Yeah,
that's great. Well, thank you so much for that today, Amy. I really enjoyed it.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Jump onto my website, sarahwilliamsauthor.com, and join my mailing list to receive a free preview of my books and lots of other inspiration. If you like the show and wanted to continue, you can become a sponsor for just a couple of dollars a month. Go to patreon.com/sarahwilliamsauthor. And remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a review of the podcast. I'll be back next week with another loved up episode. Bye!